First, fair, accurate. KVAL News starts right now.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Lauren Allison. Well, Sarah Palin was in Eugene tonight speaking to Lane County Republicans, and KVAL's David Walker was there. He joins us now live with tonight's top story.
Lauren, Sarah Palin wowed the crowd tonight. She certainly had a friendly crowd at the Republican Lincoln Day dinner, but they really were here to listen to what the former vice presidential candidate had to say. She wasted no time getting to her topic. Sarah Palin said the liberal left is out of touch, passing laws that make no sense. And she said to conservatives here in Eugene tonight, there's no shame in saying no to bad ideas. Now, throughout her speech tonight, Sarah Palin stressed a couple of things: smaller government and a free market. She said government just needs to get out of the way and let business do what business does best. Palin told the crowd, you can't legislate prosperity from Washington. We have to produce our way back to prosperity. Now, several occasions during her speech tonight, Sarah Palin took the time to bash the media and tell people what they need to be watching for. She said tonight in her speech, I just want to encourage all of you Lane County GOP and Tea Party Americans and everyone else who is seeking these common sense solutions for America. Don't get discouraged. Don't let the press get you down. Now, one thing you'll notice, there is no video of Sarah Palin giving her speech in Eugene tonight. The media not allowed to speak with the former Alaska governor and former vice presidential candidate. In fact, we're not allowed to take any recording devices in when we sat in a nearby room watching Palin deliver her speech on a big screen. I got to tell you, though, her speech was well received. Sarah Palin and the crowd, they were energized by her comments tonight, many times breaking into applause. Overall, the reaction to Sarah Palin, very positive.
She talks about things that are very important to us, and she just speaks of the future and what we have to hope for.
I think she was incredibly inspirational. She was very clear. It allowed people to be able to see what path we need to take.
After Sarah Palin finished her speech tonight outside where the speech was made, people were abuzz. There was a real energy as they talked to each other about what they had heard from Sarah Palin tonight. Without question, she packs a lot of star power as she drew a big crowd to the Hilton Hotel. A big hit tonight here for the Republicans of Lane County, their Lincoln Day dinner and annual affair. Live at the Hilton in downtown Eugene, I'm David Walker, KVAL News. Lauren?
Thank you so much, David. Now, to be fair, not everyone here in Eugene welcomes Sarah Palin with open arms. Groups such as Code Pink and Mind Freedom gathered downtown to protest against Palin's message. Members of Code Pink say they want to let Palin and her followers know that, quote, Eugene is a hate-free zone and that messages that are discriminatory and speak of intolerance are not tolerated here. Some express their concerns about Palin's priorities.
She's denying the human role in the climate crisis. She was against health care reform.
I wish she was fundraising for education. That would be really awesome. Yeah, if people could come out and spend $250 to see her speak, it would be really cool if they could donate that money instead.
Now, we'd like to hear from you and what you think about Palin's visit to Eugene. Send us an email to kvalnews@kval.com. Several hundred Oregon National Guard soldiers are home safe. They returned to Eugene late this morning after a nearly 10-month deployment to Iraq. Family and friends lined up at the Lane County Fairgrounds to greet them, and soldiers told us it's great to be back in Oregon.
It's absolutely wonderful to see everybody's support. Definitely nice to be here today and see how many people actually really care about us back home. It's really nice to see.
I haven't seen her for 8 months, and it's good to see her. It's good to be back.
No words.
A demobilization ceremony was held this afternoon. Governor Ted Kulongoski and other politicians thanked the soldiers for their service and pledged to help them adjust back to life in Oregon. And KVAL's Seth Wayne joins me now with a look at your weekend weather. So, what can we expect? And are the soldiers coming back? Are they going to see some nice weather?
Yeah, they're going to have some great weather going on. And in fact, we're going to be looking at some great weather on Sunday. dealing with some scattered wet weather as we head our way into the weekend. So right now our Doppler radar indicates some scattered showers just outside the Portland metro. We'll have our share of some scattered rain tomorrow. In the meantime, 51 in Eugene, 53 Roseburg, 48 Coos Bay, North Bend, and Newport. So the forecast tomorrow calling for temperatures in the upper 50s along the coast, upper 50s, low 60s in the valleys. We'll dissect that chance of rain coming up in just a few minutes.
Okay, thank you, Seth. Not bad. Looks good. New tonight, condensation and mold. An Oregon woman says her apartment is infested with mold and is worried about her son's health. They noticed it when their nearly 2-year-old son was drinking water out of the windowsill. But not just the windows, on the wall, near their bed, and on their furniture as well. Chapman worries it will make her son sick and says she's already feeling it.
I haven't been to emergency in 4 years, and I've been to emergency twice in the last 45 days, and that's been, over $3,000 worth of medical bills.
The Chapmans are spending $120 to test the mold to see if it's toxic. According to Oregon law, it's the landlords who are responsible for fixing problems with rental units. Now, some landlords may ask you to sign a mold and mildew addendum to your lease. It might require you to do certain things to keep mold from growing, and says the landlord isn't responsible for mold growth. Now, to be on the safe side, talk to an attorney if a landlord tries to make you sign one of those. And fears about a deadly fungus spreading in Oregon to make their way across the country. But health officials are emphasizing, though this disease has killed 10 out of 53 people who have gotten it here in the Northwest, it's extremely rare. Anna Song reports.
My life has been shortened because of that.
Bob Lewis is 76 years old. He used to be an avid outdoorsman and world traveler. He's also the survivor of a deadly fungus with symptoms that began in spring of 2007.
Shortness of breath, extreme shortness of breath.
By the fall, Bob's respiratory problems worsened. His wife Joan says it is only because of the cautious care of doctors at OHSU they learned what was growing in his right lung, Cryptococcus gattii.
We couldn't pronounce it, no less spell it, and we'd never heard of it, of course. At the time he was admitted to ICU, I was told that if they couldn't diminish the pressure on his breathing that he had, we'd be lucky if he lived 3 days.
It's a monster, and it's a monster if it's not gotten there, if it's not seen early and attended to.
And now with a new study from Duke University researchers examining the spread of the fungus from Vancouver, BC to Oregon and Washington in both humans and animals. Humans are circles, animals are the squares. Oregon state health officials are urging us all to be calm.
The general public doesn't need to be unduly concerned about it because it is extremely rare, but getting a diagnosis is very important.
My hope is for doctors and to be made aware of it, so they know to look for it.
A living lesson Bob Lewis hopes is helpful to others.
It's not defeatable, but you can recover.
I'm Anna Song for KVAL News.
Now, I need your help on a story that I'm working on. The story is part of a series on bullying. I'm looking for someone who's been bullied as a child or a teenager, and that's where you come in. If you've been bullied and you're willing to share your story, I want to hear about it. Sharing your story can make a difference in someone else's life. It's easy. Just send an email to kvalnews@kval.com.
You're watching KVAL News, honored with the Best Newscast Award by the Associated Press.